As bank boards evaluate the boardroom and think through the directors that sit around the table, it's important that directors consider three key pieces. Do we have the right directors to add to the strategy of the bank and to support the CEO in the strategic plans and initiatives? Do we have the right directors to help us think about the future customer base and the kinds of strategic things we as an institution should be considering? Do we have the right director expertise to really address the technology changes that are rapidly upon us? With digitization at the forefront of every customer and every institution, and the challenges that brings around what's the human value of the bank relationship we have with our customers, bring that back home into the boardroom and ask, do we really have the right directors that we need at our bank board to really drive a successful solution for our bank? With bank board seats being precious and limited, it's important that institutions really consider what's going to help our CEO drive maximum shareholder value. Some of the more common skill sets we're hearing about today that are needed in the boardroom revolve around the utilization of technology to create a great user experience for the clients, and also how do we leverage technology for efficiency's sake. So many boards are missing that technology expertise, so that's a natural one. The other piece is having directors that can really contribute to the overall strategy of the institution and help the CEO drive thought processes around organic growth versus growth by M&A, growth by adding additional businesses. So having directors on the board that really add to the overall strategy is one of the key things we talk about with our clients. One of the top of mind issues that bank boards are addressing today is the subject of diversity, equality, and inclusion, or DE&I. That is certainly a front and center topic in bank boards today, not only for public boards, but also for private boards. The importance of diversity is critical to the success of the institution. We all know that the more diverse your board is, the more financial success you have, right? Ultimately, it's diversity of thought that you're looking for, diversity of perspectives, diversity of skills that you need in order to make sure that the board is holding the CEO accountable to drive shareholder value. But oftentimes, community banks wrestle with where do we find diverse directors to add to our board? Obviously, if institutions are sitting in rural communities, it gets more challenging. But I'd like to offer just some inside tips on how to get creative. Oftentimes, tapping your audit firm for sources of diverse candidates is a great idea. Oftentimes, universities in the area are also good sources of people to consider. And then lastly, outside legal counsel. They're very well networked in the area or in the region and are good sources of potential candidates to consider. One of the questions we often hear from boards is, should we consider looking outside our geographic market for our next director? Many banks feel like their directors are there to drive business to the bank and also add the expertise that the CEO is looking for. But if you think about it, after a while, the director's ability to drive business to the bank starts to wane. And there's a perfect time in the evolution of the board to think about bringing in skills and expertise, maybe diverse candidates that you need from another geography. It really adds a different perspective and really can strengthen the board by getting outside the local network. Ultimately, adding board members from other areas does diversify the thought and the strategies that you all are considering as an institution and can really drive strong shareholder value. In my opinion, forward-thinking banks do reach into untraditional pools to pull directors in to the institution, and ultimately it sharpens the board and it sharpens the bank's overall strategic plan.